You're listening to the Act As If podcast with Coach Roel. Real life success stories in business and investing as they happen. And now, here's your host, Coach Roel.
All right, welcome to part 2 of my Act As If interview with my very special guest, Trevor Strickland. So last episode, if you didn't read that, listen to that one or watch it on YouTube just prior to this, we conducted the Act As If game or exercise with Trevor, as if it were 1 year in the future. And he was talking about how his life is going to look like as if it's already happening at the present. And now today, we're just talking freely in the actual present. And then we're going to kind of break down what that experience was and is talk to Trevor today and find out how much of what he was talking about is actually true and how much was the Act As If. Trevor, welcome back.
Yeah, thanks. Great to be back.
Does it feel like you're on a game show or something like that?
Yeah, it does. Absolutely. This is great.
Awesome. So there's a lot that you talked about. And I have to admit too, with all the stuff you actually do have going on at the present, I kind of lost track as to how much of that was actually real and how much was the Act As If part. So in your words, start anywhere. How much of that is actually true now, and which parts are stuff that you're aspiring to manifest for yourself a year from now?
Okay, absolutely. Okay, so we are investing in Florida. We don't have 3 Airbnbs. We do have 1 Airbnb. Yet. We are.
You have one though.
We have one. Yes, we do have one. We have a second one that we hopefully are putting in an offer in tomorrow, possibly. But yeah, within a year.
Which is the first one? Because I know some people have listened to the previous episode. So which is the actual real one?
The Kissimmee one, the single family house, hot tub, private pool on a golf course with a garage. Yes.
Okay, so that's the one that you have now?
No. So we have the one in Davenport.
The Davenport is already closed on. That I do know.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then all the description, that's why it was so vivid, because you actually have it. And
Absolutely.
Then the next one you're saying, previously I said, so what's the second property? So that's the Kissimmee one that you're putting the offer tomorrow?
That's the plan. Yes. We're going to put it on. Yep.
Okay, cool. And then the third one, it's an area so Julie and I did visit Cape Coral. We absolutely loved it. So one day we would like to buy an Airbnb there, or maybe a winter home, or whatever you want to call it. So that is on our goal list. It's on. Yes. Gorgeous.
Yeah. So what else? The 10 unit development. So we don't actually have permits for it. We are looking into it. That is something we want to get into. Something like that. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of number crunching. But yeah, so there's no permits on it. We're not going forward with it, but we are looking into development down there, kind of expand our business and get in different markets. Because that's something that we understand too. My business partner and I, we've built houses. So we understand a lot of that, done a lot of renovation over the years. So yeah, just something that intrigues us, something that we're good at. So yeah, we'd definitely like to do that within the next short while. The 14 unit up here, we don't have it under contract. We're actually going to look at it hopefully next week. So that could be something that could come to fruition, but another. So when we say we want to get the multifamily larger units, that's definitely what we're looking to do right now.
Right. So a year from now, you're going to bring those to pass, right?
That's right. Yeah. So if we do this again in a year, then hopefully we can say that we're trying to, go for a 50 unit instead of a 14 unit.
Nice. Yeah. And then do you actually own two other businesses, the laundromat and the computer business?
We do. Yes. So the laundromat was all true. The computer business, we still own it. I'm not as hands off as what I explained in the last one. That's kind of where we want to be within a year. I want to be more hands off, still have the passive income. I do have a great employee, so that's that part is true. So we're working on showing him the day to day and the business aspect side of it, and hopefully within the year that I can be more hands off and spend more time traveling and in Florida and doing other deals.
Mm-hmm. How much have you discussed that vision that you have with the computer business with that employee?
Once. So it's we got to have a few more conversations. He's young. He's been probably with me for 6 years now. So I think he's 24, maybe 25. But he's doing really well. But yeah, so I have had a discussion. So he knows it's in the back of his head, basically. So yeah, down the road, teach him more and give him more responsibility, and I can back off a little bit.
Great. And so the fix and flips, that's all true. I know even now you've done a number of them, right?
Yeah, fix and flips is true. We haven't done any in Florida. We want to kind of jump into the fix and flips in Florida. Again, we're used to doing all our own work up here, my partner and I. So it's going to be different to have basically do everything over the phone. But that's the part of finding a good team. We found a great team for our condo already in Florida. Project management, the contractors, it's been a great process. So fix and flips might be the same. But again, we got to find a good team and just kind of get used to the fact that we're hands off and leave it in somebody else's hands. That's the whole mindset thing, and having coaches to push you, saying like, this is what the successful do, and this is other people do it, so it can be done.
Excellent. Good. And with what was I going to say? With that, I'm gonna have to maybe edit this part out. Oh, sorry. Or maybe not. Just keep it real. Let's just leave it in. This whole act as if method that I have called it. It's not something original. I'll be the first to admit that. But so far, you've been exposed to this as this iteration that as I've described it for a few months now. How have you been utilizing it? And if any, what kind of successes or progress have you made with that?
Yeah, just kind of, I guess, acting the part, right? Because even now, some days it's hard to say like, oh, I'm a real estate investor, because you still think like, oh, well, you look at big people with 10,000 doors, you say, oh, they're real estate investors. But no, we're real estate investors. Like, we've been doing it for 2 years. Well, we've been doing it longer, but we've really had the push on it for 2 years. And everything we've done has turned out really well. And we have the knowledge, we have the training, we have the tools, we have the mentors and coaches, we have the courses. Everything's going really well. We have some big visions. I think that's the hard thing, is just you got to remind yourself, yeah, no, we're a real estate investor, and we can do this. We don't need to do the rat race every day and be 9 to 5. We can do this for a living and enjoy it.
That's really interesting, Trevor, because the way you've been talking, I find it personally a little bit surprising that you seem to have had some struggles with calling yourself a real estate investor. It's like I hear from you saying, I have to remind myself that I am a real estate investor. We are. But since I've known you for a few months now, several months, I didn't have any doubt that you weren't. So, I mean, I think my observation in that sense is the act as if way of thinking, looking at things. I think that's case in point, proof positive that it totally does work. Because for where I was sitting when you came, we first came in contact. You had said that you fixed a few places, you had a couple of properties under your belt. Like, okay, this guy's a real estate investor. Great. This is the kind of person I want to work with. I had no idea that you ever thought, oh, am I really a real estate investor? I got to wrap my head around it. So what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's the mindset that if you don't do it full time, you're like that old age-old saying, like people always say, oh, I'm so busy at work. I got to work. The more you work, it sounds like the better it is, or the more you enjoy your job. So I guess when you're doing a part-time, when you have full-time business, you think like, oh, maybe I'm not a real estate investor. I'm a computer guy. It's interesting. It's that mindset changing that you have to, you don't have to do it full time. Even if you do it an hour a week and you're a real estate investor, you're still a real estate investor. So I don't know. It's that old mindset that, you have to do something 12 hours a day to be in that profession kind of.
And when did that realization for you come about and you start to transition into being like, heck yeah, I'm a real estate investor. I don't have to be doing it 60 hours a week like a job, but I'm a real estate investor. When did that start happening for you?
Yeah, I think probably about 6 months ago. Just like I said, we're meeting great people like yourself and coaches and mentors and doing courses and our vision board. You see the vision board every day, and then you look back at your portfolio and you say, like, yeah, we do this. I mean, whether we do it, 16 hours a day or 1 hour a week, that's who we are and that's what we want to do. And we've met a lot of great people, and I think just talking with other people in this industry as well, and you just hear where they came from, how they started, and nobody really fell into real estate. They've all had to work for it, and they started with one little single family so we're all, I think, 6 months ago and just looking at that vision board every day. And I think now no question, we're definitely a real estate investor.
That's great. That's great. And so did you ever think of it as like the Florida thing? I know you and I came across, you came across my stuff, and how long prior to that? Because in reality, you just closed on this Davenport condo about a month ago or less, not even.
Yeah.
And so how long had you been thinking about Florida as part of your portfolio?
So to be honest, when we went for the trip, just pre-COVID, it was January 2020. We did go to Cape Coral. We stayed in an Airbnb. So that was the first time in an Airbnb, and we fell in love with it. It was amazing. The weather was good, right on the canal. And we walked the neighborhoods and we talked to I like talking to those people. So we talked to the project management person that let us in the house and kind of showed us around. I said, how many houses on this road or on this street or in this area that are Airbnbs? And so we went outside and she pointed them out, and I couldn't believe how many there were. And so we just walked the neighborhoods. We looked at all of them and just saw the palm trees and just how beautiful it was and how nice it was and clean. And so after that, we got home back to Canada, and that night, I think we were on the computer looking for houses in Cape Coral. So that kind of started the whole Florida investing, and we're just like, we'd love to buy one someday. And I have a lot of clients in the computer business. So I have a lot of clients that go down there for 6 months of the year. And some of them are Marco Island, some of them are Naples, some of them are like the Keys. So I get talking to them and how many units they have. And a lot of them had more than just one. So they'd have their residence that they went down for 6 months, but then they'd have Airbnbs or long-term rentals. So I just started inquiring more. Then I figured out it is possible. Lots of people are doing this, even from our little town. So.
Oh yeah. So they're all from your town.
Yeah. Isn't
that funny how Florida is such a normal part, or not even a normal part, but it is a part of Canadian culture.
Yes,
that
absolutely.
Florida is a place that everyone talks about.
Yeah. Definitely. One client goes to kiss me every year. They love Disney. They were even in, I think, their 60s, and they go to Disney every year. So I don't know how many times they've been there, but they just love the whole area. And it is interesting.
Yeah, nice. And so then that was back in 2020. Yes. What month were you down there in Cape Coral?
January 2020. So we literally got
you're right.
Pandemic started. So we got to our trip was good. Yeah.
Yeah. And everything was kind of shut down and stuff. And then, but what I'm hearing from you, which is a really good thing to point out, is that you just didn't sit there thinking about it. You asked people who were actually doing it, not necessarily in a formal way, like with the coaching that you're doing with me and stuff, but just informally, you were just talking about it. And that's a big deal to be around people and to actually make it feel like, this is actually possible.
Yeah, exactly. Right? Yeah, you're right. It's nice to know, because those people. So, it's just not somebody on Facebook or whatever. It's people actually do this. And then, we got on your course, and like I said, having a great coach and a mentor, you push us, and it's great. It made the whole process. It's not easy. It definitely takes work and commitment and patience, but we got through it. So I'm glad we did, and I can't wait to do the next one.
Mm-hmm. What was between January 2020 and then I think it was February, March of 2022, just this year. That's when you and I had met.
Yes.
Walk me through some of the starts and stops or challenges that you had in the between time.
Yeah. So when we got in the course, yeah, I think it was April 2022, I believe. Just yeah, again, that whole mindset, like you were really a real estate investor, and should we really do this? Because they're talking about recessions, but again, like you say, in the courses, it's as long as the numbers work, get the money in the buy, and all the other great rules. And again, you just pushed us, and you said like you're always kind of like throwing that up there. Well, I'm out here on my bike ride. It's 30 degrees and it's -5 up there. It really sinks in, and it just makes you excited and pursue those dreams and thoughts even more.
Yeah.
It really motivated us.
Well, because what I find really interesting about it is if you try to do this, or if people, and even myself, when I try to do stuff in a bubble, it's really hard, isn't it? Like to just be like, oh, I don't know anyone else doing this. Yes. Is it really possible for me? Can you speak to a little bit about, I don't know if you've ever thought of it this way, but the fact that you spoke to some of your computing clients that they're going back and forth to Florida, and you're like, huh, if they can do it and they're doing it, it's like no big deal. Why am I making a mountain out of this molehill? And then I come across this Coach Roel dude who's broadcasting from his bike rides in Florida. Like then it all feels a lot more normalized. It's no longer out there.
Yeah.
Could you kind of talk about that and how it changed your mindset, knowing that other people are doing it? It's almost like peer pressure, but in a positive way.
Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. It's great. It's a good feeling to know that, it's just not somebody that you, like I said, saw on a post on Facebook or something. It's somebody actual that I've been in their house. I've sat down and talked with them. They've shown me their places in Florida. And then getting on with you, and then having other people in the course as well that are down there and looking for deals and that have bought deals. And you just see, and you're from Canada. So I know, like if they can do it, like we can do it. It's
if that bozo can do it, why can't I?
It does. It really changes your mindset, and you think it is possible. So let's try it out. What do we have to lose? Nothing. If we follow all our plans that we follow up here, do the numbers, look in the markets, I mean, we have nothing to lose. And right. I think it is a sense of security when, like I said, I can talk to my clients and I find out that, they're so excited to go for 6 months, and they take their, we do voice over IP. So they take their phone down, and it's like nobody even knows that they're down in Florida. It's a pretty cool thing. And it's just sense of security. And now that the first one's over, like we're all in, we're ready to go. It's that whole, the unknown is kind of gone, and we're all in. That's great.
That is great. And then at the end of the last one, just to kind of wrap up here as well too, I could put you on the spot and ask if you could give yourself a few words of advice, or other people who maybe relate to your story from where you started from. Could you reiterate a little bit about that? Like how much of that is just as a matter of fact for you, and how much or which parts, if any, are stuff where you're trying to still convince yourself that I should be thinking this way? Like how much have you embraced that mindset so far?
Yeah, lately, probably last like 6 months, we've really embraced the mindset. But just a couple of years ago, like I said, my business partner and I, we just really said, let's go. We started listening to podcasts. We started reading books. Another thing, we went to a real estate conference, which really just, you got to talk with a lot of investors, a lot of like-minded people, whether they had $10,000 or 0 doors, everybody had the same thoughts. And that really motivated us, because you felt like you weren't alone. People were there to support you. Everybody said, oh, call us anytime, email us, whatever, that we're just text or a phone call away. So I think that really helped, knowing that we weren't alone. Just kind of seeing what your life could possibly be like. Get out of the 12-hour days and just do what you enjoy. Get up, put the kids on the bus, take your time, do a little workout, check some emails, maybe look for a deal, plan your next trip. Life is definitely can be so much more enjoyable. And I think, everybody has fears and doubts, and I think you just got to jump right in. It's a good feeling once you get rolling, and a great outlook on the future, and highly recommend. Yeah, like I said, having a coach or mentor like such yourself, having a vision board, that really helps, and just talking with like-minded people. Everybody's very friendly, I found, in the real estate space.
That's excellent. One last bit of sort of wisdom or nugget of knowledge that I'll ask of you, and in the area of, say somebody has started, they're like, yeah, I've heard all this stuff before. A bit of a skeptical track, or sure, read books, listen to podcasts. And then there seems to be so many different options for learning on the internet. What kind of advice could you give to somebody who might say to you, in reaction to what you just said, like, okay, yeah, reading books and listening to podcasts and stuff, but still I'm stuck, or I can't pull the trigger. Is there something that you could say to that person?
Yeah, just I guess try and find a mentor. The coach and the mentor, they really push you. If you think you're stuck, jump on with a coach and mentor. They push you. They're very supportive. They've probably been feeling or thinking what you've thought in the past, and or reach out to somebody that is doing it. Maybe shadow them, or if they're willing to mentor you or give you some advice, just have that support system there. But there's so many different coaches and mentors and courses out there, and they're all really friendly, whether you're just beginning. So don't be afraid if you're just beginning. We all started somewhere. We started a couple of years ago, really diving in and trying to scale. So a lot can happen. Just give it a shot. It's just it does take a little bit of time, but definitely give it a shot, and follow it through.
Truer words have never been spoken. Thank you very much, Trevor, once again. And I'm impressed genuinely at how much you've grown already since the last 6 months when I first met you as well. So good stuff. And I'm excited to be a part of that journey going forward.
Yeah, thank you. And we appreciate you pointing us in the right direction too, and all the support.
Awesome. So I can't wait to see what else you guys can do from here forward, and seeing how this Act As If will come to fruition as exactly as you've described it. It's going to be pretty exciting to be able to look back and say, look at that guy. He had no idea this stuff was going to happen. And now look at you. So that's going to be great.
Awesome. That was all right.
Great. So once again, this is the Act As If podcast with yours truly, Coach Roel, and thanking our special guest today, Trevor Strickland. Once again, thanks again, Trevor.
Thanks, Roel.
You've been listening to the Act As If podcast with Coach Roel. Real life success stories in business and investing as they happen.